Sheehan Roach with ProSocial World, and we're talking about Wayne Teasdale's 9 elements of interspirituality. Element 8, selfless service and compassionate action. Wayne Teasdale is very clear about spirituality not being some independent, off on your own, in your own world set of beliefs, but more of how we show up in the world. What our spiritual transformation, how does it apply in life? He says any truly viable spirituality for the third millennium will involve a commitment to the social dimension. He writes about poverty and homelessness, and he gives many, many examples of people laying down their own safety, their own comfort, their own schedule for others. He says that genuine spirituality is always open to service. He shares a passage from the Bhagavad Gita that emphasizes that service is not about the result or the outcome. It's what do you bring in. What really makes service selfless is that the person shows up for another, for the good of the whole or the good of others, but not expecting any kind of reward or notoriety for any of that service. Thus, the term selfless. And the idea of being done from compassion that Wayne points out, your motivation has so much to do with the purity of this element of cultivating true selfless service and compassionate action. He calls us all to be alert and to be available, to pay attention for opportunities. And this isn't just for religious people. Wayne often, the images you'll see him wearing the saffron robes of a Hindu sannyasi, which is one of his traditions, or he was also ordained in the Roman Catholic tradition. So he has these, you might see photos of him looking like a very religious person, but he actually lived in the world in a puny apartment in Chicago, and he got to know people who were living in poverty, people around him who were on the streets. And this is where his primary attention was. He was known to be late to his own keynote addresses because along the way he saw somebody in need and met that need, that was more important than impressing anybody else. So it was knowing stories about Wayne Teasdale. It could be challenging for him to not, show up on time to things, but he really lived this out. He was available to people in need. And so he can write about this from deep authenticity for all of us, not simply people wearing saffron robes or having some sort of religious ordination, but that every human being to fulfill the spiritual life needs to be available for selfless service and compassionate action.